I'd like to call the County Commission meeting for August 19th to order. Before Commissioner Brett leads us in prayer, we always have folks that we lose in the county, but we've had two recently that have been involved in the county for a long time. Robert Jackson, a longtime constable, and Judge Andy Jackson. They both passed away. So as you lead us in prayer tonight, let's remember them and their families. Thank you, Commissioner Brett.
Bow our head, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together as a commission, and we ask that you lead, guide, and direct us, and we make decisions that are pleasing unto you. We ask you be with these families that Mayor Ryle just mentioned, and we ask that you be with our county employees and watch over them and protect them, and the same with our military people that's here and abroad. And we ask that you watch over and protect us on our way home. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Everyone stand for the pledge.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Simpkins.
Here.
Mr. Ledger.
Here.
Mr. McElwain.
Here.
Mr. Beatty.
Here.
Mr. Dawson.
Here.
Ms. Spicer. Mr. Buckner.
Here.
Mr. Britt.
Here.
Mr. Petty.
Here.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Grove. Ms. Gray.
It's good to see you all here tonight. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of the July 15th, 2024 meeting. I'll open the floor up for a motion. Motion by Commissioner Petty, second by Commissioner Buckner. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next item of business is public comments for resolutions. Was there anyone signed for public comments? There were no public comments. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item is committee reports. Any committees report? Commissioner Simpkins.
Ag Committee met last Thursday night, I believe it was. That we was treated to a very nice meal. I can't remember you remember who it was, where the meal came from, Dwight? Yeah. Yeah, I believe something like that. Anyway, it was really good, and want to pass that along. We appreciate that. All our 4-H and Ag Extension are very busy. They give us a good report about it's amazing how much they can do with the kids in that length of time, but every time we meet on a quarterly basis, they always have a full agenda and what they've done, and we appreciate them. And looks like that office is really getting along good. All the employees there are work together good, and they even made the comment about it at this last meeting, how good things was working. I just want to pass that along.
Thank you. I will check my emails in the spam folder. Apparently I missed an invitation to the dinner. I'm glad it turned out well. Any other committees report? Hearing none, the first item of business is public hearings. Amendment to Article 5, Section 5.041, A1 Agriculture of District C, uses permitted as special exceptions by adding number 21, commercial dog breeding. Mr. Darnell.
Thank you. This was something that Commissioner Gray had requested. It went to the Planning Commission. What this will do, we have regulations on kennels, but this will also be something that's required by a special exception by the Board of Zoning Appeals. And the second part, which is the definition of it, it reads, any person or entity who possesses, maintains, or boards dogs for the purpose of selling their offspring to the public. That will be the definition. These two amendments do go together, and it was approved. The recommendation was to send it here at the June 13th, 2024 meeting by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you, Mr. Darnell. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this issue? Is anyone here to speak on this issue? Let the record show there was no one. Next on public hearings, amendment to Article 2, Section 2.020, definitions by adding commercial dog breeding.
This
Mr. Darnell.
Second part of the same one. This was the definition. In the two amendments do go together.
Thank you. Is anyone here to speak on that number 2, the amendment to Article 2? Anyone here to speak on that? Let the record show that there was no one to speak on that. Item number 3 under public hearing, amendment to Article 5, Section 5.041, A1 Agricultural District E, dimensional regulations by adding number 8, driveway standards, option A, option B. Mr. Darnell.
This was something that has come before the county commission before, and it's recommended to go back to the planning commission. At the July 11th meeting, they did take this back up. They had several options to review. They decided at this time, their recommendation is to not to add this amendment, to add this to the driveway standards to in the A1 zone.
Thank
It was
you.
done by a vote of 10-1.
Oh, this is another public hearing on that amendment. Is everyone here to speak on that amendment? Is everyone here to speak on that amendment? Let the record show that there is no one. Thank you, Mr. Darnell. First item of business is resolution. A resolution to amend the official zoning map of Dickson County, Tennessee is adopted in Article 5, Section 5.02 of the zoning resolutions of Dickson County, Tennessee by rezoning 5.25 acres comprised of a portion of parcel 1301 of tax map 101 from A1 agricultural to C2 commercial. Mr. Darnell, do you want to speak on this? This is the second reading.
All this property, public hearing was held last month. I don't know if anybody has any questions or not.
This was brought to you 30 days ago, and this is the final vote on that. Any questions or discussion? Motion by Commissioner Williams. Do I have a second? I'm sorry, who was the first? Thank you, Commissioner Grove. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 2 is resolution to set speed limit on public road known as Fagan Chapel Road. Commissioner Simpkins.
I'm going to ask the sheriff to give us the update on that.
Thank you, Commissioner Simpkins. This one we've been working on for a while. I believe we had gotten some bad data. So we got it back in cycle and ran a 6-day survey. The volume on that road is 5,647. It's a lot of vehicles. Of course, the posted speed or the default speed limit's 45. The survey showed the 85th percentile, 36 miles an hour in one direction, 31 in the other. I'd recommend a 35 based on that, splitting the difference.
Commissioner Simpkins, is that your motion? Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Simpkins, second by Commissioner Britt. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. Resolution to authorize purchase of real property. This is the property as we know as the Oregon property that is located. Why am I doing that right now? What number am I on? Oh, yeah, number 3. Sorry. I need something like number 3. We need to defer that 30 days. I did not understand the information correctly. I explained to you 2 weeks ago. I have county technical assistance service. I'm supposed to meet with them. So I understand that supplement better because I don't think I understand the funding correctly on how it's supposed to be done. So if there's not an objection, I'd like to set this for our regular meeting in September. And that way I can give you correct information. Thank you. Now, Health Department land purchase resolution authorized purchase of real property. This is the property at the corner of Highway 70 East and Hummingbird, known as probably most of you know as on Oregon property. This is the property to put the new health department. Open the floor for a motion. Motion by Commissioner Groves, second by Commissioner Beatty. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 5, resolution authorized the purchase of body cameras and tasers to be used primarily by the Dickson County Sheriff's Office staff who work in the County Justice Center and to amend the county's budget fund 101 to fund the purchase. On this, this money is, as we discussed, this has come out of the courthouse security fund. So it's not taking additional money. There's a pot of money over there that we move into the 101 fund to pay for this. And Sheriff Eads is there if you have any questions about the equipment that he talked about 2 weeks ago. If you don't have any questions, open the floor for a motion. Motion by Commissioner Spicer, second by Commissioner McElwain. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Sheriff. Item number 5, resolution budget amendment to appropriate an additional $15,000 from the county general fund to the Dickson County Help Center. This is what we discussed that we budgeted last year, that we were going to match dollar for dollar up to $100,000. Our board members did great work on that. They not only collected $100,000, but they collected up to $115,000. And we know our fund balance is in a position to fund that additional $15,000. What I brought to you 2 weeks ago. So this is where we'll have a match, and on their endowment, that'll give them an aggregate number of $230,000. I think we have an unwritten goal along with the Help Center Board trying to get to $1 million here in the next couple of years. So this gets us 23% of the way, but this is to amend to give the additional 15,000 with the 100. Motion by Commissioner Gray, a second by Commissioner Buckner. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Ms. Bain, do you mind coming up? Y'all don't mind standing up and squeezing together. We'll let Ms. Bain hold this check that y'all approved. I hope this makes a good photo. It's all kind of my craft flag. And we get one with the commission and then we'll get the letter. So I like to be, oh, yeah, I got that. No, I'm not running for reelection. Thanks, y'all. Board members, if you don't mind saying, we just picture y'all, we probably don't have about 10 more minutes of this meeting. Thank you. You have to see the chair. Y'all can applaud for that. Thank you. We appreciate the partnership. Again, we talk about it all the time, but what the Help Center does for this community in general is fantastic. And what you help Dickson County government do by being that safety net, it's an amazing job. And we're more than proud to be just a small part of it. So thank you. And thank you all for being here. Next item of business is a resolution to authorize the county to enter into a contract with the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security for county participation in the Tennessee Advanced Communication Network. This is what we know as TACN. This is what the 911 board is doing. We have to break this out in 3 separate resolutions. The TACN system is what's run by the state of Tennessee, what the state troopers use as a statewide network. We will be attached to that along with the city of Dickson and all the other municipalities in Dickson County, along with volunteer fire, where we have a more robust system. It moves us out of the analog systems into a thing called P25. If we use that term, it makes you sound cool, but it moves you into 800 megahertz radios, which are more expandable, and it kind of gets us into the 21st century. The 911 board looked at many options on this. The sheriff's department, ambulance service, Mr. Bear, EMA, along with all the other partners, city of Dickson and the other community worked on this. At one time, we thought this was going to be a $25 million expense. This total expense now is probably in the neighborhood of about $6 million roughly. The Dickson County's portion of this is $2.6 million, which we have $1 million already set aside for this. We're hoping to get a grant that will pay some more of this, but you'll see here in a minute, we're doing a lending, a lease purchase deal where we can pay on this for 5 years. So it fits into our debt service budget. And I've probably covered part of what I think that's all of it right there. Do you have any questions?
Just a little bit confused. So I guess the 3.8 million that's what the board is going to borrow. The E911 board is
the 911 board, I think, and Sheriff Eads may have been a meeting more recently. In essence, the total amount's going to be borrowed for all the units that are involved in that, all the cities, everything. We're going to go on and pay down the $1 million that we have budgeted, which will lower the total cost of debt, but we'll still owe our portion, which will be 1.6 in borrowing. Okay, I know what they've done then. They've already assumed that we're putting our $1 million in there. And then I don't know if the city of Dickson, are they paying money into it? Okay, That's right. That is the borrowing. The actual total cost is more than this, but we're cashing out part of ours.
Oh, okay. But we're on the hook for was that 2.8?
2.6,
2.8.
well, it's a floating number.
No, I'm just, it's a little confusing seeing two different numbers. So I was making sure we're not on the hook for the 3.9. I think that's what it is.
No,
3.9. Okay.
here in a second, you'll see with the contract between the county and E911, each governmental body will have to contract with 911 to owe their portion of that debt. We're only going to owe our portion on that total debt. The city of Dickson, Burns, White Bluff, Charlotte. There's several other smaller players, the state parks, I believe, is on this, the gas authority, some others use radio. We broke it up on the percentage of the total usage on that. Of course, Dickson County, I think we're about 53% because we're not only the county, the ambulance service, the sheriff's department, fire department, but we also are purchasing the radios for all the volunteer fire department because this is much too massive for them to do on their own. But that's a responsibility that we're taking on. They say anytime now. I'm hoping if their plan, it's basically a $2 million grant. There's two separate grants that equal $1 million apiece. They're going to spread them across the complete 911 board for everybody to get their proportional share. As you and I talked about, Van Layer doing that. Our portion, if we receive that, will be about $800,000, and the 1.6 will turn into $800,000. Gets very reasonable at that point in time. Yes. And we can prepay at any time, but just looking at easy cash flow, we've laid that out on our debt service projection. It fits nicely without us having to move any pennies around to make it work. Be glad to answer any other questions y'all have on this. At this point, then I'll open the floor for a motion. Thank you, Commissioner Ledger, second by Commissioner Petty. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. This is what you came from the meeting. So we will approve this whole mile for under the. All right, thank you. Next item on this is a resolution authorized the county into a letter of intent and contract with the Dickson County Emergency Communications District, agreeing to provide the funding to the district for the district's purchase of P95 compliant radios and the county's receipt and use plan. Is that P90? That's P25. See, I told you, it's important to know that. We will change this resolution on the heading on this that you have. That needs to be P25 and not P95 on this. This is kind of what we talked about here, and it shows the purchase amount, and it is 2.8 million on this line right here. Is what 2.872 million. What this does is obviously it lets us work with that using the complete buying group to purchase those radios. Motion by Commissioner Grove to have a second. Second by Commissioner Gray. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Last resolution on this is a resolution to approve the bond issue by Dickson County Emergency Communications District. They have this. Okay. Okay. What this does is the 911 district is a board of the county government. They have no borrowing authority, even though they have a revenue source. They cannot borrow money without our permission. So what we're doing is giving them permission to do this. As you've already heard, the loan is going to be repaid by each individual group in the municipality to pay this debt back. So for the 911 board to go forward, they need approval from us so they can borrow money. Thank you, Commissioner Groves. Thank you, Commissioner Brett.
Be on like a one-time thing. I mean, every time something else come up with, we'll go back like this again.
If the 911 district has to borrow money, they have to get our permission to do it.
Okay.
It'd be like the airport.
My question is, if we okay now, can they future do it without our commitment.
No, they'll always have to come back to us. So this is for this and this issue only. Good question. Any other questions? I did get a motion on that. I have not got a, oh, okay, sorry, I need a motion on that. I did get a motion.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't read my own writing, so thank you. I knew it was some of y'all. All right, any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed, thank you. Next item of business is other business, 177 fund update, flag football. Dr. Sullivan.
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to be here. I've passed out folders, and so I will discuss the items within the folder. You will see that I provided each of you not only an electronic copy, but a paper copy of our current administration throughout the district at each school. You may be asked questions by your constituents that lead to some of the specificities of the work that I may not be able to get to or know. So I want you to know who the principals are in your area that you support so that you can direct your constituents to asking principals the questions that they may have. And I know some have come up, so I want you to have that. I also included board meeting and planning session dates for you so that you can put some of those on your itineraries so that you can come out. Let me know if you're coming to planning sessions because I always provide dinner for our board members and you as guests. Tonight, I would like to give you information around flag football. But before I do, I would like for you to see the wristlet that is taped in the folder. And there is a page that you will see 4 R's. The words include rigor, relationships, relevance, and relentlessness. And these are 4 words that we live by and we are using throughout the time that I'm in the seat as director. And it's what we do inside the classroom. But you and I have a relationship that talks about what we do and the importance of outside of the classroom. And so I'm not going to read this to you. You can read that and what each of these words mean, but you're going to hear me talk about the relevance of the work. And the relevance is the relationship that you and I have, and with the fund balance and the funding portion of what we do for students and families in Dickson. And so the importance here, and you'll see me wear this. Our teachers have this, all of our staff throughout the district, because I want to remind them of the importance of rigor, relationships, the relevance, and the relentlessness of our work. As I speak about that, I have given you kind of some homework. It's the teacher in me to look at what is flag football. So you have a packet. I always like to be the first. And so we wouldn't be the first in the district to host flag football. It is not TSSAA sanctioned yet. That is 25-26. If we institute flag football, it will happen in the spring. And I have reassured Mr. Grove that it would not infringe upon his softball. However, we would have to have tight communications with that. But I have also shown you, because I'm very transparent, what does it cost to start new sports? You know, I was just speaking with some of you. When we change out lights, you're looking at almost a $200,000 expenditure just to put LED lighting in our stadiums. That's a high cost, but things cost more today. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but it's the relevance of that, what happens outside of the classroom, that really matters, because it does affect inside the classroom success for students, because it's just not all about academics. So I would like for you, I've put a cost expenditure. Williamson County, Clarksville, our big districts are entertaining flag football for girls. It's the #2 sports that girls flock to. Number two, in the state. I would be the only county in the state of Tennessee that opened it up to middle schools. Why? Because it's another opportunity. If I start flag football at the middle schools, I think we'll go to regional when they get to being at the high school level. And I'm about winning. I'm about playing, but if I'm going somewhere, I want to go to win. So why not create another opportunity at the middle schools that we play each other? What a great community opportunity that White Bluff play Charlotte, for Charlotte to play Dickson, for Dickson to play Burns, for Burns to play Charlotte, for Burns to play White Bluff. It's another opportunity to get our families involved in extracurricular activities outside of the classroom. So when we sanction this, when TSSAA says, you know what, maybe a good thing to put middle school there, we're already going to be there. But I like also being the first. And so right now I cannot find a district that plays middle school flag football. But I'm not looking for that. I want to make sure that Dickson provides opportunities. And so read it. When I come back next time, ask me questions. I'm not going to ask for you to vote on anything, but you see the cost here. It is not in the resolution. I'm going to be real upfront. I'm going to ask this cost out of fund balance because I would have to. I got down to the bare minimals this year with my budget. You have been so gracious and kind to give me a $15 million resolution, but we earmarked that for specific items. It did not include flag football at the time. So I just want you to just marinate on the words that I have to say. Think about it, read about it, come with questions. I'll be ready to hopefully answer all of those, but I did want to lay out what it costs to start a new sport. After this sport has started, then it would be up to the district to refurbish the needs. And that would go with the athletic fund, the athletic money that we have set aside per each school. And I know you're all familiar with that, the 50,000, the 25,000, the 15,000, and the 7,500 that students receive for their athletic programs. So I want you to think, I want you to come with questions and I'll answer those, but I will be asking for this money at that time. Questions from me? There is, let me make sure.
Dr. Sutherland,
Yes, sir.
could you tell us approximately how much money's in the school's fund balance right now?
Well, we just took out 15 million. I would say a little over maybe 15 million because I think we had about 36 million. Is that right, Mayor?
Yeah, I think you're probably going to be a little, after these books close, you're going to be over $20 million. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
So. Yes, sir.
Do we have a field or a place for them to play?
We're working on it.
Well, that's another expense.
Mhm.
I remember.
Well, I'm not going to put flag football lines on a football field, and I will tell you why. We're going to confuse a lot of kids if we have football lines, soccer lines, and then to add flag football. They do have lines where you can pull up every time. But yes, they would play on a football field.
Well, the reason I asked this question, when we started soccer in the system, they were going to play on the football field, and there was such a uproar about soccer playing on the football field and destroying the football field and this and that. We wound up building soccer fields, which, it's okay, but that's just another thing that we need to look at. Expense that we're going to have down the road.
They will play on the football field.
Okay.
And, that's the relevance of the work. We can't keep building, we can't find land to build on. We can't keep creating fields. So we're going to have to work together. We got to model that. I appreciate your concern, but I think we'll work that out. Mhm. Look at it. It's here. I would like to give an update. As some of you may have heard, we're trying to do due diligence with our Charlotte Middle School volleyball. We did order a $10,000 netting system. The more we look at that, it is not what the company promised. As I've spoken with Mr. Beatty on several occasions, I'm not willing to compromise the floor. That's an old floor. I don't want to compromise it because we play basketball on that floor. What we want to do, I've spoken with Mr. Jeff Corlew to get a structural company out to see if we can order a volleyball unit that comes down from the ceiling. It's an extra cost, but it wouldn't compromise the floor. I couldn't guarantee that if we cut into that floor, that it would have a ripple effect and create other issues for us. Yes, that apparatus net would cost me about $8,000 more. However, we've got to look at putting the best equipment, safest equipment in our schools so that our students can play volleyball. It may be past my time when I retire, but I do feel that you're going to see a boys volleyball team come on to play in the future. It's big in the Olympics. The Olympics brings about TSSAA sports. We would be ready for it at Charlotte Middle School if that happens with that apparatus. But I've got to make sure that our structure at the ceiling would hold that netting system. So stay tuned. Right now, I don't like the netting that they have. It's being held up by wires. We've got to look at that. We're better than that. And so, but it takes time. It's not something that you can snap your fingers. It takes looking through the lens of a structural engineer, whatever it takes to be safe. But that's in the works. So I do want to give you an update. DMS, we are doing our last walk because I want to make sure whatever paint we put on that facility looks good. And then you're going to see the outside of Dickson Middle School, not the old Oakmont, because I'm writing a plan right now, a facility plan, and you'll hear about that. But right now it is the outside facade of Dickson Middle School. So it will be painted and will look a lot better. We're going to do a lot of pressure washing. And I think that the community will be very happy to see that. We're going to tear out bushes that are in the front that do not have that nice curb appeal. So stay tuned on that. Dickson County High School. I want to make sure that as I was reflecting in my car and what I said last time, that I too said the right thing to you about that high wall. So the high wall at Dickson County High School will be ready to bid in February. I don't know if I said that. I didn't go back and look at the tape, but I want to make sure that my words were correct in that. So that design process, it is currently in the design process, and the high wall would have to come up to bid in February. The Creekwood High School gym is completed, and the CTE building is ready to bid in late August, so coming soon. Are there questions for me? I will give you updates as they come. I've asked Ms. Starmore to put me on the agenda moving forward, but I wanted you to have the information that you need. Questions? That I will bring that before them. They know that I want to, and they are all for it. We will talk about it Thursday. That's why you have homework to read about it and to ask questions about it the next time I come. And then I will ask approval for it.
I got a question, Mike.
Please.
Yes, sir.
And you spoke on it for just a minute there
Yes,
about
sir.
the 25,000 and the 15.
Yep.
And I guess I'm asking fellow commissioners to help me out. I'm confused on this money.
Sure.
And when Dr. Weeks come, he asked for 25 for each middle school, 50,000 for each high school.
Mhm.
We voted for it. I thought it was great. I thought we were going to use that 25,000 to disperse among the things. Now, in talking with some of the school board,
Mhm.
hearing you say it for the first time tonight, I'm hearing there's a 15,000 and a 7,500. I don't know where that come from.
Mhm.
I never have. Did I miss something, or I guess I'm not. That's the first I've ever heard of that. I thought it was just 25 and 50. Now I'm hearing no. That was for something else. The 25. All they've got is 7,515, and I've never heard that. I guess I'm just needing an explanation,
Well-
maybe where that come from.
Uh-huh.
Did I misunderstand?
You didn't. I've unearthed something new. Well, in my looking at the books, I did notice that there was facility structural money. The 50,000 and 25 can only be used for certain things. The 7,500, and I believe it is 15, I'll bring it with me next time. That's used for uniforms, for balls, for different things. So it's two sets of monies.
I guess my question was
What
the
they can use
15
it
and
for.
7,500 already there?
When I stepped into the seat, yes. It was already allocated.
'Cause
And so I'm just moving
I
forward.
guess I'm
with
just
it.
thinking maybe that wasn't. I guess I'm confused. I thought the 25 was going to go toward uniform, just anything that each of them needed. But then I keep hearing the 15 and 7,500, and I never heard that before.
Mhm. Well, it
sitting up
was
here.
there. It was there. So I apologize that you're hearing something new. I can't speak to that. I can speak for what I've seen in the books and what I would do moving forward with that money and how it was allocated. Now, the 7,500 and the it's either 10,000 or 15,000. We went over that today and that has left me, but I will bring it. It's only allocated for certain things, but the schools have to pay a third of it. So they have to give a little skin in the game there. Yeah, I'll bring it. I will bring it next month. So good question, but it was not new from me. It's always been.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sutherland.
Thank you.
Next item of business is from the public hearings earlier, amendment to Article 5, Section 5.041, A1 Agriculture District C, uses permitted to special exceptions by adding number 20 in, commercial dog breeding. Also, my attorney has told us that we can combine number 2 and 3 together. Amendment to Article 2, Section 2.020, definitions by adding commercial dog breeding. If there's no objection, we'll combine those. Your vote on these two will be to move it forward until the next meeting or the next regular session meeting in September. Open floor for motion. Commissioner Petty, second by Commissioner Buckner. Any questions or discussion?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
yeah, this, what's the fee gonna
Be for the dog breeders that come and to get a permit and all.
Mr. Darnell can answer that.
Fee for permit has to go before the Board of Zoning Appeals. There is a $100 fee to have them meet. We bring it before that.
So they'll go before the zoning board.
Yes, yes.
Okay. What is the penalty for a stray dog that's owned by, say, your neighbor runs wild all the time? I mean, could he be fined or the dog? So there's no,
Hey, it's a misdemeanor, so it would be $50 plus. That could end up around $350. That's how I counsel. Right.
so what's the procedure, Sheriff, if somebody wanted to do that? They can-
They take their information, general section, swear out a summons for allowed animals to run at large, and we would serve that, the court date be set, and the two parties would go to court. And the general section judge would hear that case and make a decision.
Okay.
All right, on this amendment, this is, and we'll have some room for other business after this. On this, combining these two together, we have a motion, a second, move this on 30 days. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 4 is amendment to Article 5, Section 5.041, A1 Agricultural dimensional regulation by adding driveway standards, Option A, Option B. This was sent by the Planning Commission with a no recommendation on this. You can also vote no, it will kill it here, or you can vote yes, and it will move it on to 30 days on that. I'll open the floor for a motion.
Motion, but you say you need to, if we want to end it. And when we vote on it, you'll have to vote a no vote.
No, on this one, if your motion is to accept the planning commission's recommendation to deny, it'll be an aye vote.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
Motion by, have a second by Commissioner McElwain. Any questions?
Yes, so
Yes.
can you clarify that? So it's just going to go away?
It'll
There's
go
not going to be any
You will not
requirements
have a driveway standard in A1.
in A1? Okay.
Not amending anything.
Would it be beneficial to vote no tonight? Get rid of it instead of,
A yes vote, if his motion was to get rid of it.
okay.
So if you're doing that, you're agreeing with Commissioner Simpkins.
Okay.
So I had a motion, I had a second. Did I get a second? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McElwain. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Darnell. Item number 5 is the C20253 is required by the Controller's Office. I have to notify you whenever we completed a borrowing. That was the borrowing for the Eubank property. That note has been signed and that borrowing is complete. Next item of business, approval of notaries. Madam Clerk.
Okay. Here you go. This is Andrea M. Ayakatubby, Kristen Brom, Daniel Bullington, Kimberly Chrisman, Kara Critchfield, Leslie Daniel, Kimberly Hayes, Dana Howell, Joy James, Jillian King, Amanda Krantz, Gabriela Martinez, Sharmian Menifi, Barbara Neblett, Elise Nita, Allison Noakes, Renee Porter, Douglas Redding, Colleen Sharp, Cassandra Stonebreaker, Kathleen Wilson, Lynn Wright.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Grove. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Any other business? There is some business. Does anybody want to self-report? You're going to play this dangerous game. Let's see. Wow. Does anybody want to does anybody need to self-report? Is something happening the rest of August? You want us to sing to you, Commissioner Gray? Thank you. Happy birthday to you both. It was very close to us having to sing to you at next meeting. So thanks for not allowing that to happen. I hope you have a great birthday. The 60s aren't that bad. I'm making to it. Y'all will too. Any other announcements? I will make the announcement. It's on our Facebook page. Due to the construction next door and our transformer issues we have in this building only will be closed this Thursday, August 22nd, because our server is located in this building for the clerk's office. They will also have to close at the Dickson office, but it's only expected to be that day. So this building will be closed, but the Justice Center and all the other county servers will be open, going full speed. If there's no other announcements, the next regular session meeting will be on Monday, September 16th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Beaverdale Biddy Reed Jr. County Commission Chamber of the Dickson County Administration, 4 Court Square, Sharp, Tennessee. Have a motion second. Thank you. Y'all stay.